All right, we're live. We're live. Love that. I love that sign. Is that a bird?
This is actually the symbol of my lead character, Niobe. There you go. It's yeah, there you go. Exactly. And this is also you'll see it here, you'll see it on good Lord there, like on this right here, you'll see it.
Ah,
It's a symbol on her back, it's on the new cover on the new Kickstarter. I mean, like
ah,
it's everywhere. It's the symbol of the
everywhere.
goddess of light, Arnuminel, to counterbalance the devil's hands.
Oh, I did a review for that too. I don't know if you saw that, but I did review it. we'll
Uh-oh.
talk.
Okay.
We'll talk about
Okay.
it. Okay. So my first question for you: how did the name Stranger Comics come about?
Great question to lead off with. Thank you. I remember being walking to an audition when I used to do a lot of acting and modeling when I was young and pretty. And we had shopped around, or I'd shopped around this idea for Niobe, The Untamed, etc., to various publishing companies, and most of them were, we don't do female-led comics, they don't make enough money. We don't do black-led comics, they don't make enough money, and we don't do fantasy comics, they don't make enough money. And I'm like, I'm doing all three. And and, and then the ones that were interested were like, well, this would look good during a Black History Month announcements, right?
Yeah,
Very,
you love to do that.
very vapid, very hollow. And then there was one that I got into real, like I would say, not fisticuffs, but one that I had a beef with, I'll say. And they were really, there were some treacherous people out there. And so I remember talking to one of my guys, he's like, we should sell our own company, and it's gonna be called Integrity Comics. I'm like, that's terrible. That's an awful name. And then you're right, exactly, like the Omar Epps. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like it, but yeah.
It's a little on the, you know, and so I was a huge fan of spaghetti westerns. And I loved The Man with No Name, The Stranger. And then also they harken back to the olden days of comics, the strange tales, you know, and so on. So the lead character in The Untamed is the Stranger. And I was like, wait, Stranger Comics? Is that available? Oh, snap, is available? You know, so so that's the origin of Stranger Comics.
Is your favorite comic book character the Phantom Stranger?
No, my favorite character is actually the Hulk.
Oh, that's awesome. It's a question I had at the end. It's a question I had for you at the end, but I wanted to present it now.
Okay, I love it. But very cool. I'm a big fan, you know. It's very cool.
Okay, so you know, you've been building this world of Asunda for decades. How has your North Star for this world changed since you first started?
Oh, wow, I like these questions. I think the North Star has changed as far as certain realities have set in. You know, when I started Stranger Comics, even though I started creating the world 39 years ago, how old am I? We've been doing Stranger Comics for 17 years. There was some naive optimism of, well, this will be a movie by this time, and this is going to happen here, and all these various things that even though, you know, learning on the go, I used to run a record label. I'd never written a comic book before. I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never gone, but you know, you're learning on the go. And so, but right out the gate, we had a big option with a huge producer, and then that didn't happen. And another one, then a development deal, that didn't happen. Then another one, and so all along the journey, I think I hit a place where the movie aspect and those kind of opportunities, if they happen, that's great. But I'm here to honor the comic medium and celebrate these stories and honor the craft, and which I was doing anyway. I feel like, I mean, I was really always about quality, I
Mhm.
modeled Stranger Comics after three companies: HBO, like quality storytelling; Deadwood, The Wire, you know, Sopranos, etc.
Mhm.
Taschen, as far as presentation of book, right? When you get
Mhm.
my books, the presentation is, you're not going to find anything better
Yeah, they're
than
gorgeous.
the presentation of how we do the books. And then there's a record company back in the days called Blue Note Jazz. It was like, if you see a Blue Note record album cover, you go, that's a Blue Note. In the same way, if you see anything that resembles Spike Lee, it's like, that's Spike Lee. That's David Lynch. We have a
Mhm.
voice. There's a voice to what we do.
Mhm.
So that has always stayed the same as far as that level of quality. But the North Star changing is just essentially, okay, it's just all about honoring the work within the world,
Mhm.
and making our Marvel universe a fantasy.
Nice. I love that. Okay. So, Nairobi is like a genuine icon for representation. Um, what does it feel like to see her grow from sketch to someone who means so much to fans, to the fandom now?
I tell you, we had that Niobe anime trailer drop at our StrangerCon launch on Saturday,
Hmm.
and seeing some of the comments, it actually is, it choked me up a bit. It's because when you're an independent comic company and not one of these, you know, dare I say, indie companies that are Silicon Valley funded, like anything outside of the big two, they're like, oh, that's the indie comic company so and so. I'm like, no, that's not independent. Independent is this, you know, driving trucks to a con, you know, breaking down trucks, breaking down, you know, you name it, right? So
Yeah.
then when you see that moment, it's humbling. When you see cosplayers that come to the booth as Niobe, um, I remember the first time that happened. There was I was at New York Comic Con. This is like 10 years ago now. And I turned around and I was like, what's Niobe doing in the booth? It was just such a moment of I was dumbfounded. It just didn't, you know, I was like, what's
Yeah.
happening with the Matrix right here? And then the next convention, a little girl who's probably 8 years old, her mother had her dressed as Niobe. And I've always felt that if I'm not doing this to make movies, but what a shame would it be for us, I would like the world to experience what our comic community experience on our comic, in our comic community, but imagine that on a global level. It's super exciting. So yeah, it's always, just to answer your question, because I'm a rambler, it's surreal. It's just
No, you're
surreal.
you're you're good because it's funny because I'm always like looking for that representation too, and you don't come across a lot of like black female leads that I mean, there's Storm from the X-Men. I think she's the most popular one I can think of, but like, and there's a few others, but there's not a lot
So
that comes to mind. So I love to see it. I love to
thank you.
see the I love to see the representation. I love she's magical. I love magical princess characters. She's kind
Sure.
of like a princess in a way. Um,
She is. She absolutely is. I would say we say she's half elven, half human, half
mhm.
angel, half demon, to reflect the
Oh, wow.
duality of spirit that we share. And both the untamed devil and the goddess of light will move heaven and hell to make Niobe their champion.
Oh my, she has like a lot of titles.
Yeah, and you mentioned something earlier before we got on the stream, which is very
Yeah.
important. Like Niobe has dreadlocks, right?
Mhm.
This isn't just a, hey, let's have her with dreadlocks.
Mhm.
It's the last memory she has of her mother,
Mhm.
as her mother was being pulled away from her, holding on to her mother's dreadlocks. So it's a
Oh.
way for her to connect with her mother emotionally and spiritually, and also
Mhm.
trying to connect with her mother from the tribal side of her, because she's mixed. So it's, how do folks who feel mixed or othered, no matter where you're from, and
Mhm.
you are still trying to find your place in the world, and where do you truly belong? And that's
Right.
with Niobe with her mother. So the I could really go into it, but yeah, the depth of I really try and honor the culture as much as possible, because when I'm at these booths, I get usually about four or five people will come, and they'll start getting emotional and start tearing up or crying, especially elders who grip me and go, "Don't give up, young man." And it's like it's like intense. And so when you do an indie comic company and you are working 7 hours a day and all, 7 days a week, actually 7 hours a day, geez, that'd be nice. Keeps you honest, and it keeps you moving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And obviously, it's not just about representation for
sure.
people of color. It's representation for girls too,
Yep.
which is important. Like seeing strong women, overcome odds and go to battle and do cool things. I think I don't have any kids, but like I would love that for my daughter in the future to see that kind of
Yes,
stuff.
sure.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's very cool. Okay, so you've worked very closely with Amanda Stenberg on Niobe's journey. What is one specific thing she brought to the table that changed the character's trajectory?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, working with Amanda was pretty amazing. We started it was 2015. We didn't realize it at the time, but it became the first nationally distributed comic book with a Black female author, artist, and hero in the history of entertainment.
Love that.
And Viola Davis did the forward and the hardcover, and now, crazily enough, all these years later, Viola's helping make the movie. But Niobe with Amanda, she was 15. So she was able to bring a 15-year-old Black girl's perspective, and me not being a young girl, I knew I needed to essentially, really. And Amanda's Black and she's mixed and same age. She brought an honesty to it in a way that she was like, "Seb, you write really poetically and blah blah blah," and she's like, "This is not what a 15-year-old would say." So we actually spent a long time breaking the story together for the storyline She Is Life. And initially it was going to be a novel. And then we were both like, wait, we don't have time to do that stuff. And wait a minute, I do have a comic company. Maybe it should be a comic, right? So yeah, she helped break story beautifully. And then she would help when I'd essentially write the first draft. And then she would come over the top and then make sure, okay, make these tweaks here. Why don't we have her say this instead? I'm like, and then even to the point in one of the pages, she comes across a dead body. She goes, I want Niobe to be like, is that a dead body? Is he dead? Like something that a 15-year-old would say. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right. So it brought kind of like a grounded 15-year-old. But she's Amanda, amazing. I love her dearly, and she's way beyond her years and wisdom. So she's amazing.
Yeah, I loved her in the Acolyte. I had to so I told you I did some research obviously to prepare, and I was like, who is Amanda? And I looked her up, and I was like, oh, it's her. So yeah, I loved her. I loved her in that, and I've seen her in some other stuff too. She's an amazing actress. But yeah, that groundedness to Niobe, I'm sure it's important because even though it's fantasy, it still has to hit here.
Especially, right?
Yeah.
I remember meeting a guy who was wanted to direct The Untamed, and he was like, I want Sean Connery to play a part. I'm like, that's not going to happen. He goes, he's amazing. I'm like, yeah, he is amazing. But as soon as he comes on screen, everyone's like, oh, look, Sean Connery.
Yeah.
And it's going to take you out of it. So
Yeah.
I always say that the fantasy world, we're desensitized as people we've got the Avatar, we've got Marvel, we've got Star Wars, we've got DC, we've got Dune, we've got Game of Thrones. Cool. unless you can relate to the character, so there's a line in the Niobe's life, the very first book. The very first line I wrote is, the goddess of light says to Niobe, "What haunts you?" So if you're reading that as the first line, the goddess of light is asking you, what haunts you? So you are now answering what Niobe's answering. So you are now in the shoes of Niobe and questioning everything as well, in the same way she does at the same time. So I like to try and create these kind of moments. Even with the Untamed, the one that you read, the first line is, "I'm going home," right? Like relationships, fathers and daughters and mothers and daughters and all those types of things. That human level first, you've got the cultural aspects, and then you're just happen to be within this world that feels very real, you know. Yeah. Otherwise it's like watching a movie and the sound, the music suddenly comes in, and you know, it's
okay, so let's pivot to the art. So art is very important. This is a visual medium, and we already talked about how beautiful the artwork for your books are and the aesthetic that you have. So you know, the Stranger books have a very specific visual identity. How do you typically collaborate with artists to bring that unique style to life? Do you have like, you already go with a vision, or you somebody come to you and you like your style? What's the collaborative?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, no, I'm a lunatic, I think, with a feeling I have for each of the characters. And so if we're in the you know, whether we're in this part here, I wrote this with Tusum Bedu of the Woman King, this Niobe She Tribe book, or is it the Asian part of our world? So maybe we'll just play with a bit more of an anime space. But then we can also play with, you know, like a dueling sort of sides or whatever. So long story short, thank you. Yeah, and then when you play with it, you also see we've made it's a big heart with a sword. Yeah. Yes, exactly. There you go. So so sometimes what I believe is this is whose idea is best wins. But somebody has to have the final say, right? So I try and go, if it's a cover, here are some ideas, right? Like, so with the one you can get on the Kickstarter for free right now until the end of Wednesday night, here's this Batman homage you can get for free if you back the Kickstarter before Wednesday night, right? By Kane and White. I like homages because you're tapping into someone's kind of relationship with a certain thing that they love. So if covers is a certain thing, okay, I'm looking for something like this. If it's a painting like the one Tahani did, I'll say, I like the idea of the stranger holding the sword and the blood's dripping down and into the hand who's presenting the sword to the stranger. Awesome.
A really freaking cool cover. I like that one too.
Thank you. So, and then, you know, she's like, okay, what do you think of this? They'll send sketches. Now, with the interiors of the books, they are all of them laid out by Daryl May, who is our chief creative and who's been he's one of the founders of Stranger Comics, a co-creator. And so we've essentially created an aesthetic for how the books consistently look and feel over everything's got to feel cinematic, basically. Yeah. And then we send off his layouts to the artist, the inker or the painter. So everything is really pre-designed, you know, but then if an artist comes in, inker comes in, is like, hey, what do you think of this? I think this is better. I'm like, oh my God, we're like, yeah, it's great. You know, but here's your foundation. Excuse me. And some follow his stuff to the T and some play a little bit, but you know, like, what about this angle? This is more dynamic, or etc. So yeah.
I gotcha. I mean, I love it. I mean, it's pretty cool. And obviously with a visual medium like comic books, art is very subjective. Some people are not going to like certain art styles. I've grown to like certain art style by just seeing it over and over again. Um, I will say for the Untamed, that one was like, oh, this is really cool. Like I love this world, and half of that is the coloring too, just how it's colored. It's I don't want to use
Rich.
bright. Yeah, it's rich. It's very rich palette. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So
Thank you.
um, Defiant was like a shift for you.
Mm.
Was it harder to use those world building muscles, that you've had building the world of Asunda for a real life hero, than it is when you're starting from scratch with fiction?
Uh, well, luckily I didn't have to write it. That's so that was but it was a lot of work to manage it. So I edited it with Josh, who's my editor in chief, and Daryl again did all the layouts. So he had to shift his muscles from laying out fantasy to laying out something cinematic for this project that is going to be a movie. And you got Rob Edwards, who wrote Captain America: Brave New World, Princess and the Frog, as the writer. And so he's comes on as a heavy hitter. And we had weekly meetings for hours at a time, every week to dial that in. So it was just really it's pretty intense. And also, I don't own the IP, so I work for we're a client. But I am an executive producer on the movie, but I'm, also having to shift. I'm used to running the ship, right?
Yeah.
So I'm running the ship for making the book, but I'm also making sure that my client is happy with the work. So that was probably the biggest challenge, I would say.
I mean,
and Legion M, they're great. They're great partners to have. So
I mean, that creative team, the Captain America and Princess and the Frog, those are like two of my favorite movies. So that says a lot about how this movie is going to turn out. And
great. He'll
do
be
you
at
have
WonderCon.
oh, is it?
Yeah, he'll come. Where are you based out of, Philip?
I'm in Florida.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'll see you next Saturday, but I won't. Yeah. So yeah. No, he's lovely to work with. Rob, he's fab. Super bright, super wise, kind, and good fun. Yeah. And he respect. It was like he's not on some high horse stuff. So yeah, it was just easy. He was easy peasy.
Nice. Okay, so in the world of, I guess, Hollywood adaptations, so a lot of your stuff is being adapted right now, which is, I'm sure, fantastic, and it seems like part of the vision from the beginning. What is it like collaborating with Viola Davis and a Hollywood team? How are you balancing your original vision for Stranger and Niobe with the new ideas being brought to the project?
That's great. Yeah, it's well, we've been optioned a lot over the years with different studios, from producers there's a wonderful guy, Lloyd Levin, who was a producer who made Watchmen movie, Boogie Nights, back in the days. We've been optioned by Film Roman, the animation studio that did The Simpsons. Yeah, we did HBO for a long time, The Pinnacle. I was writing with Prentice Penny, the showrunner of Insecure. And then that kind of fell through. So with Viola's and Julius, Viola's husband, who is the president of Juvie, they're just wonderful. It was more about finding the production partner that would help me protect the integrity and power of Niobe. It was less about looking for an option deal. So they have not optioned my project. We are production partners. So Stranger Comics is looking to raise the money to make it to make it. And my first teammate is Juvie Productions, and also another company called Homeworld with producers Andrew Cosby and Simon Swart. And Simon, I was meant to have my chat earlier. I missed it when it was just these days are crazy. So navigating it with Julius and Viola is fantastic because it's a collaborative effort into, and they very much, they're like, it's my vision, and that's, but it's collaborative, and I like to listen and learn from the best. And with the anime, it's, that's a South African studio I met in Comic-Con Cape Town after being flown out to Comic-Con Africa in Joburg. And there's an artist, again, who, funnily enough, did this one right here, named Tahani Farr. She contacted me. She said, Sebastian, you have fans at Comic-Con Africa. And I'm like, what's Comic-Con Africa? And she said, it's a huge convention in Joburg. It's huge. It's as big as some of our biggest ones here. I meet the folks that run it. They fly us out, and we're doing a documentary on me. And so we bring that team out, and I meet up with Tuswa Mbedu of the Woman King, who happened to be writing this one with me at the same time. Ooh. And she happened to be out there. So we did this big stage presentation. It was amazing. And there were guys coming up going, "You're the Niobe guy. Can you meet my mom? It's because of you I write comics and got into animation." I'm like, what's happening, right? Niobe's known in Africa. Like, it just is mind-blowing. So yeah, coming back to it, so that's where I met my team at Molo Animation, and I hired them, and then to basically I wrote the script, Darrow did the layout, and then this wonderful team, Martinus and Lola, they have been bringing it to life, and we have weekly meetings with everyone earlier. And they have this similar lovely team, and they have rocked it. And we're going to make this, whether it's with a studio or independently. It's just, I'm not. It's how I started Stranger Comics. I'm not. I don't wait. I can't. You know. It's like what you were saying when you started a podcast. You're like, I haven't done this before, so I'm doing it.
You're just doing it.
Just do it.
What's the timeline of these projects? Are you like, is there like a date where we're looking to release, or it's like that's still TBD?
With the TBD with the movie, with the anime, we feel like we've got steps. Like at San Diego Comic-Con, we'll release the full trailer of the anime. Then we'll look to get into pre-production ASAP and see if the fans want to come on, like with a Kickstarter, like, and help fan fund it and be a part of it. You know, like it's moving all in the right direction. I just know that's happening. That's not, you know.
Yeah. Is it like for the anime, are you looking to do like seasons?
I'm going to start with a movie. Okay. And then it feels like that's the easiest way for us to do it, because it's like, or, you know, it save me a lot of money. And maybe it's like, hey, we do a 22-minute episode and maybe raise to get the right. No, I don't know. I want to give her due and just do an amazing movie.
Awesome. Love that. Yeah. You mentioned Prentice Penny and that deal and the Payback Entertainment that you had. Is that no longer a thing?
I don't think it's going to be a thing so much. We'll see. But I do love Prentice dearly. He's amazing. And I'm working on a project with the founder of Black Heroes Matter, Jason Wise, and the Tablets of Kush, Uraeus. We did a kick for that last year, did great. And that's Uraeus's vision. And I had the honor of co-writing it. And that's about a man, an immortal from Kush, living in our present day, reclaiming artifacts from museums and taking them back to their ancestral homes. And
I did see that. That looks really cool. Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. It's shout out to Uraeus. Yeah, it's a dream project to work on. So yeah.
How did that come about? Is that
Uraeus asked me.
Oh, okay.
It's been with him for 20 years, and he's written comics and stories. It's been an indie cult since, I don't want to say cult because that seems to diminish it. But it's like, if you know, it's like if you know, it's like, I don't know if you know hip hop, but it's like if you know certain artists that are not mainstream. They're not even underground, but the folks that know them, like, oh, that's
Yeah.
the god MC. Like that's I don't know. Jason Wise is known within the Black independent comic space, but
Hmm.
not enough.
Hmm.
And so yeah, I love Urias. He's amazing. So yeah, hey, I had the honor of doing it.
That is awesome. I meant to ask, and this is kind of switching back gears, but ruining Christmas.
Yes.
So okay, you're in this world of sword and sorcery. What was the haha moment that you're like, I gotta, you know, not ditch fantasy for a while and dive into this grounded, chaotic thing that is ruining Christmas?
So, it's so funny when people come to the booth and they see that or the kids' books I have, they go, wait, you do this and that? I'm like, yeah, I like sex and sandwiches. Like you can like different things. So ruining Christmas was just me basically being very English and very not politically correct. And so it's really just came around this idea that I had with Daryl. We just tossed it back and forth, and it just got bigger and bigger about these two idiot Christmas elves that get the crap beaten out of them by the rottenest kid in all the land, and they lose Santa's hat, the source of all Christmas magic, and they have to go and get it back. But it's very much, I loved like Guy Ritchie's gangster movies. So I
Yeah.
was like, we could blend the voice of a Guy Ritchie gangster movie. Like, he's an effing snowflake. I wouldn't trust him to shovel reindeer-ish. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's like he's
Yeah.
a bit of geezer. So it's very, very English. I'm like, I don't know if my American, they're gonna read it and go, what are you even talking about? But it's super naughty and super fun.
What's that Guy Ritchie movie? I think Brad Pitt is in it, and it's like
Oh, Snatch. Yeah,
Snatch.
Snatch.
Yeah, I just watched that. So you're like,
Okay,
okay.
there you go. So imagine that. But it really, again, storytelling for me, it's about today's society. They have the kids have entitlement and the parents have apathy, or
Hmm.
the kid. It's everyone has apathy or entitlement. So the concept of just going, the spirit of Christmas has been taking it up to blah blah blah. Right? It's like spirit of Christmas is like, you can't take it anymore, like, because we're not about giving anymore, we're about taking. What have you done for me? Got to get my bag. And then here I'm going to present it to you in the most irreverent way and go, oh my god, that's so irreverent, but really it's just a wake up.
Yeah.
This irreverence brought you in to show you you're entitled and apathetic and need a splash of water in your face to have some humility.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, I think there's like a lot of ungrateful people in the world right now. Probably a lot of ungrateful kids too, but it's a different conversation. But I saw that, I was like, what is that? That looks.
Fair. Fair.
Okay, so getting into the last few questions I have for
Okay,
you.
one second, because I gotta tell everybody I'm gonna be running late for my live. 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry, 1 sec.
Mhm.
I'm running late on will send 15. 15 late for live. So sorry, it's super unprofessional.
You're super busy.
It's just absolutely nutty. And then the Nerdist article dropped, which is amazing today, an interview, and it's like all happening. Let me just say, running 15 late, but will be there. Heart. There we go. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Sorry. All right. Done.
You're good. We probably will be wrapped up in less than 15. Okay. So, as a writer, as a creative, I always want to know what your process looks like. So,
Mm-hmm.
how do you get the words flowing? Like, what's your writing ritual? Do you have like like a playlist. You got like a lucky hat, a lucky shirt. You drink some coffee, some tea. What's
Tea,
your process?
always tea. It's like every guy, can't go to war without a good cup of tea. I think it's music. It's always about the sound of frequency of human spirit. It sounds so obnoxious coming out my mouth, but I used to run a record label for a lot of years, and I put out 25 albums in jazz, blues, old soul, funk, hip hop, stanky funk, rare beats, and so on. And so I'm a music head, big time. It's my first love. And so when I wrote The Untamed, I would listen to Gorecki, I listened to Satie, I'd listen to Alice Coltrane, I'd listen to certain sounds or the Raging Bull soundtrack, to things that would just put me in a certain mood. If I'm working on Niobe Tribe, I listen to, again, Alice Coltrane or Fela or something. It's just or just certain types of sounds. And once I listen to certain things, that will come. But a lot of the stories, I don't know what it is. They feel organically into my subconscious or conscious, and like I was talking to an artist today explaining like how the ritual of marriage is in the world of Asunda. And he's like, and so I created this idea of so if I want to marry you, I don't give you a ring, I don't propose, I don't do this. I have to basically find this sacred flower. And if I can find this sacred flower and present it to you, and you accept, if you say no, the flower wilts and it dies. If you accept it, you and I will go and find a place in the world, and we'll say a prayer and a certain chant that I've got in the books, and we'll replant it back into the world for somebody else to come and find, to replant love, and so on and so on. So we're continually giving back into the world with our love to pass it on. But originally it was a flower that fell from the god Eternity when he was slain by the devil, and it's a star flower falling down. So these are just things that I don't know. It's just The Untamed is really the original one that you've read. This one is really just, I was rocking my newborn to sleep, and I was overtired, and I knew I needed to be a better man. I'd done something wrong, and I was like, I started to write down, I'm a bad man. Day one, I come to town, I would do this, I would do this. Day two. So it just, honestly, the more you read of these books, the more you'll get to know me. So I think it's just, my mom always said, like, write what you know. I don't know else, but I know what it is to be a father, or I know what it is to be a son or a brother, or a friend, or someone that deals with issues with rage or with regret. There's a line I wrote that says, regret lingers longer than sin. So how do we overcome that? So themes that mean a lot to me. Forgiveness. Can you forgive others? Can you forgive yourself? So anyway, so all that to say is, I don't know if I can get on a routine of getting up, like Spike Lee, Hemingway, Stephen King talk about it. Don't wait for the muse to show up. Put the work in, because then you find inspiration. I believe in that. So be disciplined as best as possible with your physical, mental, spiritual, whatever. But apart from that, it's what is important. It's things that are soulfully resonant that are important to me, I guess. And again, I feel like I sound like such an obnoxious dick.
No, dude, I get what you're saying. It's like an anchor for me, and it's obviously we're doing totally different kind of writing, but it's like an anchor. Like when the anchor drops, you're like, okay, this is the mood I'm in. This is the mode I'm in. For me, there's a YouTube playlist called Andrew Deep. It's like house, EDM, European stuff. I can't listen to word music. It distracts me.
Sure. Oh, for sure.
But like this gets me in the mood, and I don't need it to write, but it's like if I really want to like switch.
Yes, I get you. Yeah, it
Yeah,
becomes that thing. It's like that thing that's instinctive now. It's like, oh,
yeah,
you hit it. You know, it's like you're like a pro like
exactly. Exactly. Okay, so you've done fantasy, you've done the Untamed, Niobe, history with Defiant, the story of Robert Smalls, and comedy with Ruining Christmas. Is there a genre or medium that you're still dying to attack?
I mean, one day, I think I don't know, I'm so independent in the sense that I'm just waiting for Marvel to call me up and say, like, when are you
Dude.
gonna write the Hulk? Like, come on, like, when are they gonna call me? Like, nah, it never happens. No one's ever called me. Maybe my writing's not that good. I just think it's good, and I'm convincing people at conventions it's good. And they go, like, that guy's really nice, but his writing, I don't know, it's a bit sus.
No, dude, I would
But no,
I would love to see you on the Hulk. As I said, that was one of my questions. You already answered it at the forefront, but I was gonna ask,
oh,
like,
right.
yeah, what
But
DC or Marvel character would you love to get your hands on? And I was like, oh, the Hulk. Okay.
the Hulk, I would have the Hulk like kill. I
What
just
is
it would
it
be
about him that, talks to you and
it.
speaks to you?
He relates to me ever since I was a kid. I've always been skinny and picked on, and can't deal with. I actually feel I can't deal with disrespect or lack of consideration.
Hmm.
It affects it really stresses me out to the point of I deal with fear a lot.
Hmm.
Um, I deal with fear in. I grew up in England, and for a period of time I was in the boarding house, so I got picked on and called all the racist words and so on and so forth, and kicked, tipped out of bed, stomped on, and so of being afraid. So I create this fantasy world so I could hide in it. With Niobe, I create this girl I could put on my fears and my wrath onto her winged shoulders, and as I grew,
Hmm.
she grew with me, and so did the world. But I also learned, oh, I'm actually more afraid of my retribution. So when I would get people, attacking me or whatever, when I attacked back, it wasn't like, it was not gentle. It was, it was severe.
Yeah.
Because my dad was like, my dad was very much like, if anyone says anything to you, you punch them in the face. Not
Hmm.
you don't deal with words, but I was afraid to do that. So then I realized, well, I'm actually afraid of my father thinking I'm a coward. So if I don't do it, am I a coward? So it was all these psychological things. So for a period of time, if someone said something to me, I wouldn't wait. I would just smack them in the face. And then, but that was more out of being afraid of feeling like a coward. So that made me a coward, right? Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
afraid. So I still deal with it today. So I've learned how to I've had to learn, program myself. If someone attacks me on social media, actually, it really, at times it messes me. I'm like, what? I'm a nice person, and I don't get it. Like, right? I don't understand the petty, like, oh, look
Yeah.
at this. It's crazy. So I understand how people feel cyberbullied. Right? But in person, I dare you to do that to me in person. But even in person, it's like learning how to walk away. So that is, like, I don't like being misunderstood. That's
Hmm.
to quote Nina Simone, it's like I don't, that really messes with me. And so the Hulk, I was like, what was the question? The Hulk, right? Fear. I'm
Yeah.
afraid. I'm afraid of the monster coming out, which is really this Dusu book. That's what this one's really all about.
Oh, nice. Do so. I did see that too. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's reasonably priced on the Kickstarter. I'm just saying, you can,
Yeah. I
you know,
am I am ready
you
to dive into your world, bro. I just got a little taste with the Untamed, but um
well, if you can, you know, if you're up for it, like literally we have we're at 289 backers. This is my salesy Seb for 2 seconds.
Mhm,
We are trying to hit 300 backers by tonight when I go on this live stream.
mhm.
And all I'm looking for is $1, because it helps the algorithm.
Yeah.
It jumpstarts the algorithm, but we are giving a ton of free stuff by tomorrow night. So whatever you can do, whatever your fans, your friends, your pals can do, it lets them know, lets the studios know, the financiers know, Viola Davis know we have a voice. Because
Yes.
they'll look and go like, oh, and that's how we're judged, right? With fantasy, something black, something fantasy, something female led. Oh, I guess people don't care. Oh, you raised 70 grand. Well, I guess you got some rich followers or whatever, but no one really cares because you've only got 270 followers, 280 backers, and that's the dilemma when it comes to this.
I
So
got you.
you know, it's
I'm
very important. People don't really, if they don't have these Hollywood meetings, that they literally they go, what's your analytics? How many backers did you have?
I know.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's one of those issues that I run into too, but I'm also on Reddit, and Reddit is a different platform.
Mm,
So, not to get too much into the weeds, but that's where I push stuff. And
okay.
then great traction, great conversation. Going back to the social media and Hulk thing, when I first started this, when you notice you've been doing this for 40 years, when you put your work out there, you open yourself to criticism. It's just how it is. And naive me putting myself out there, and then a funnel of like people saying this is trash, and me taking that very personally and not having any social media knowledge, like, hey, this attack isn't isn't really coming at you as much as you think. It's this person's own insecurities and all their fears and whatever it is that they're projecting onto you. But that's a thing I had to learn, and it's never easy because somebody's attacking you and you feel.
And it's the art, right? It's like
Yeah.
Erica Badu, I'm an artist, I'm sensitive about my ish, it's like I've had death threats
Mhm,
from folks with this stuff, right?
mhm.
I'm okay with that. Well, I'm not obviously okay with
Yeah, I
that.
was about to say no.
Ghastly. Yeah. Let me edit. But I would say I'm more in, more hurt by when people go. I saw one comment and very super negative about the work, but
Mhm.
yeah, and it was like, what? And it's okay if you don't like it, it's not for you, but it's
Yeah,
when it seems spiteful or mean, it's like, well, that's unnecessary, like
yeah.
you don't even need to say anything. Like there's one person wrote on the Niobe anime trailer, which I think is fantastic. Meh. I'm like, but I'm like, did you like if I think something is meh, I'm not gonna write it.
Yeah,
Like what I don't need to, right? It's just weird. It's just but that's how it is now. Like, oh, did that make you feel better for 2 minutes? Yeah, it probably
yeah,
made you feel better for 2 minutes.
it did.
Okay.
And again, it's that projection thing, and
Yeah.
I look at it as such, and it makes me feel a lot better. I don't know if it actually is the case, but I don't need uh dissertation on why you feel the way you feel. But
Right.
you're an internet
Yeah.
person. Okay. So last question, obviously, if someone wanted to pick up a stranger book and want to dive in today, where do they need to start first?
Yeah, great question. You want to start with, depending on what you like to read. If you like a slow burn, dark fantasy, vengeance to redemption story, start with where it all began, The Untamed, A Sinner's Prayer.
Mm,
If you want something lighter to read, a bit quicker, a bit more fun, is you want to start with Niobe, She Is Life. And if you want just one comic to read, like, oh, hey, I want a sample, pick up Tales of Asunda, Niobe, She Tribe. Those are kind of the ones where I would kind of say those are the good, you know, which is a one shot. It's a fully contained story, one issue. And you can pick them all up at strangercomics.com. You can follow us at all the @Stranger Comics socials. And if you can, we've got 26 days, I think, left to go to the Kickstarter. Don't look for Stranger Comics, look for Tales of Asunda Tome. I should have put Niobe in the title because everyone always looks for the word Niobe. And it's and the Kickstarter tracking is not great. So if people are looking for, well, where's Stranger Comics or Niobe? Oh, I couldn't find it. It's not. It's look up Sebastian A. Jones or Tales of Asunda Tome and come and get your beautiful, beautiful hardcover. You can get one hardcover, two hardcovers. You can get soft covers. You can get D&D material in there. Yeah, this was, I was inspired by Barry Jenkins' Underground Railroad and when they break the fourth wall. So I named this Dare to See Us.
Yes.
And Dare to See
people. It's amazing. Pretty. Gorgeous. Stunning.
So that's a little glimpse into the fantasy world of Asunda.
Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna...
and if you want, Philip, I can send you art, you know, screen grabs and things if that helps you when you're uploading and things like that.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna hit stop recording now.